Hey, my friend. Welcome to the Kenn Blanchard Show. This week, I'm going to give you an update on the Kenn on Keto, searching for my six-pack number 4. I got a spooky story and a background on Upper Marlboro, Maryland, in case you live in the Maryland area and never knew about the county seat. Yeah, and the spooky story is actually true. Recorded live near the Patuxent River and the Chesapeake Bay. It's the Kenn Blanchard Show. This is the show from a guy that's been podcasting since 2007 and traveled a few places around the world, lived over 50 years on this earth and survived a lot, and who now wants to share with you. Live, love, overcome, prevail, laugh, learn, be inspired. The family and pet-friendly podcast. All right, it's been a whole week since we talked last, and I got promoted last week. Yes, I did. I work in the security guard office, and I got promoted to captain of armed security officers, and they moved me about 50 miles in a different direction to a different location, and it's been a whirlwind of stress and anxiety and overwhelm, and I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I got 100 people calling on me all the time about their clothing, about their pay, about their private lives, and then on top of that, they're not doing their job. So I got the other office calling me about officers that are on their phones, that are asleep, that are not doing their jobs. And I'm the middleman. I'm taking the heat. A little bit of overwhelmed. But on my third day, I got a call from another company, the U.S. government. A job I'm waiting for 8 months. Just came through. So I'm about to say, AMF. Adios, my friends. I've given my 2-week notice and I'm trying to be all graceful and everything, but deep down in my heart, this is how I feel. I'm coping with the stress though. This way, I'm actually praying before I go to work and when I come home and during the day, I'm focusing on the right now. I'm taking a lot of deep breaths. And even though I'm getting hit with multitask and different personalities and a whole bunch of stress, I'm trying to remember that I can only get one thing done at a time. Multitasking is a lie. It is for me anyway. And it's getting me through the days. So if you're overwhelmed, remember that. Focus on the now. Take a deep breath. And try to tackle that elephant one bite at a time. And if you really want to put some power in your step, learn how to pray. Because praying to the Almighty doesn't just change things. It changes us. All right, this is week number 4, and I am trying to find my six-pack. I'm searching for my six-pack, man. I didn't know how much weight I had in the front. My wife is making me feel a little awkward because she's like, look, your belly is going down. Woo! That's not what you want to hear when you're a dude. I am happy that I lost 9 pounds, not 10. I got some mathematical issues, and my scale definitely fooled me. And I don't know whether I just didn't have my glasses on or what, but I thought it was 10 pounds like a week ago. And when I went back and remeasured it, it was only 6. So one of the things I learned about dieting is people lie, and I didn't want to be one of those people. So I'm coming clean, man. I'm letting you know that on week number 3, I didn't lose 10 pounds, only 6. And this is week number 4, and I lost 9 pounds. I double checked it this time. But my stomach is smaller. My face is getting thinner. My son was happy to say I look more like him now, which I don't know how I feel about all these comments I'm getting from my family. Only person not mean to me is my daughter. My super chef is cranking out meals every other night. She's having a ball being creative because she's going in her little cookbook and on the web and finding these ketosis type diets and foods and menus and dishes that she can prepare. And anything that got sharp cheddar cheese in it has been a win for me. But I'm actually sick of cheese right now, if you can believe that. But I'm still liking it. What What I've been on, in case you're just catching up to me, is this thing called a keto diet. And I'm not a trend dude. I mean, all I wanted to do was not be fat, not look like my dad, just to be a little bit more of a muffin than I was before. And this keto thing seemed like it was going to work for me. It's called a ketogenic diet, and it's an eating plan where you minimize your carbs and up your fats to get your body to use their fat as energy. That's the technical thing. But see, everybody's body and needs are different, and you got to make sure that this thing don't kill you or put you into like a spiral. It's not for everybody. That's the thing. You got to know your body, and you got to find out whether it works for you. But I'm telling you, in 4 weeks, 9 pounds ain't no joke. I look better. I feel better. 60 to 75% of your calories are from fat. With this diet, 15 to 30% of your calories are from protein, and 5 to 10% of your calories from carbs. Now, unless you are a foodie, or you are a dietitian, or you got somebody who can help you, that's the hard part, is your diet. There's a whole bunch of foods that I would grab thinking it should be good for my diet, but because of my strict daughter and my wife being the enforcer, no. You got to eat like, not crazy stuff, but can you believe it? Bacon is good stuff. Bacon and sharp cheddar cheese, breakfast foods, omelet, breakfast foods, good stuff. Yeah. Haven't had as many eggs, and my cholesterol is probably through the roof. Probably have a stroke or something. Well, I stay prayed up on that one. But how this thing's supposed to work is about 2 or 7 days after you start this thing, your body goes into this thing called ketosis. And that's when you start using that stuff for energy. And when you start making these ketones, they take the place of the carbs that you used to eat. Like Cold Stone ice cream, like pancakes and regular syrup. There's a whole bunch of sugary stuff right now that I am craving. Well, I ain't really craving. I just miss it, not having it, you know. How about a glass of red wine after a day of dealing with some knuckleheads? Yeah, I'm missing that. I'm missing that like you wouldn't believe. This whole keto mess was actually started to help people who suffer from seizures. Yeah. Not the weight thing. See, ketones and another chemical produced by the diet called decanoic acid, that's better, can help minimize your seizures. But when people started following the keto diet, they noticed the weight loss for a few reasons. Did you know that when you eat carbs, your body retains fluid in order to store those carbs for energy? But when you're not having much in the carb department, you lose this water weight. So that's the first thing to go. And it's really easy to go overboard on carbohydrates, but if you're loading up on fat, it may help curb cravings since it keeps you satisfied. Plus the fact that ketosis encourages your body to burn fat means you can end up with some pretty dramatic weight losses. Searching for my six-pack. I don't have a six-pack yet, but I don't look like I'm in my last trimester either. Now, my daughter's been cranking out some cheesy stuff, and I'm kind of liking it. And I've been eating a lot of pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. What else? Strawberries and blackberries. Pretty much all the berries are out, but there's a few berries you can eat. And you want to make sure that you check out that, and you don't want to eat a lot of it. That sugar, man, will mess you up. And there's some actually keto-friendly restaurants I found out. Red Lobster is one. Olive Garden is one. And Texas Roadhouse that can allow you to treat yourself to a night out without coming out of ketosis. And I went to a spot downtown called Due South. And they had the regular barbecue kind of thing. And I got pulled pork, and collard greens. And I had to leave the cornbread and potato salad there, which seemed like a southern crime right now. I felt like I was committing a felony, leaving that food on the table. But I did it. And plus, it was better than just, not doing nothing. But I was looking lovingly into my wife's eyes, and she was all happy. And, well, got to keep the missus happy. It's a good thing. Keeps you around longer, I heard. If you want to try it, though, I'm recommending it to you right now. I'm telling you, there's a couple things you can't eat. That's like sweets, artificial or natural, candy, cakes, donuts are no-no. And that's why that pumpkin muffin at Dunkin' has been calling me like a crack fiend, but I ain't listening. And you can't even eat apples, bananas. I think I had a pear. I think I had 2 pears, and they have a ton of sugar, which I think is what slowed me down. Might have knocked me out of ketosis. Ain't nobody say that to me, but I found it out later. Can't have alcohol either. It's one of those gray areas on the ketosis diet. Many beers and cocktails have a lot of sweet stuff in it, especially wines, all sugar. Can't have, what else can't you have? Can't have some grains, no pastas, which does just mess me up. But my daughter's been making some really cool, like lasagna-ish stuff, using cauliflower and something else. I think she's using a lot of almond powder, something like that. So no big bowls of pasta, no potatoes, no legumes like chickpeas, lentils, and black beans. Can't have them either. But just because there's like a whole bunch of stuff you can't, believe it or not, it's a whole bunch of stuff that you can eat that you would think just not healthy. But there's a difference between healthy fats and unhealthy fats. And then, I've been eating a hell out of avocados. Avocados don't have a lot of nothing to it, but they sometimes just make you feel a little amorous. But that just might be my mind. Funky thing about them avocados. Let me know if you get that same side effect. I don't know if it's just me or the moon, But as we round out this last week of Kenn on Keto, I think it's going to be a solid 10 pounds. I think that pear did me in, and so did that fake Gatorade I drank. Once you take a sugar, it slows down, knocks you out of ketosis, and your body's not burning fat anymore. So if you want to cheat, you actually will be stopping your progress. So try to be faithful to everything that you put your mind to, whether it be your food or your spouse. This month's sponsor is The Sportsman's Guide. The Sportsman's Guide is an online retailer of hunting and fishing gear, military surplus, ammunition, and outdoor sporting goods. Did you know that the first catalog for this thing came out in 1977, and it's been around a while? If you're into the outdoors, I want you to check out this link, which is in the show notes, and every time you go to the link, I'll get credit for it. And if you buy something, you might help a brother out. Sportsman's Guide is our affiliate for this month on the Kenn Blanchard Show. Check out the link. Click on the mug. Make your voice heard. Let me know that you're there. Show support. Was that show support? Show support. Sportsman's Guide. Look for that link, y'all. All right, before you poo-poo me and say, I ain't looking at that doggone link to the Sportsman's Guide, I'm going to tell you what happened to me the other day. It is pouring down like cats and dogs out here in the nation's capital. And I stepped into a puddle by accident. Took my, opened my car door, and my foot went right into some water. I don't know how long it had been there, but it was pretty deep. And you get that cold feeling on your feet. And I thought, I need some waterproof boots. So I went and took a peek at the Sportsman's Guide, and there's quite a few waterproof shoes in there. A lot of them that you could probably wear with jeans, whether you're a cowboy person or a hiking boot person, or you want some heavy duty stuff for when the snows come. Check out the shoe selection there. You can get them sent right to your house, and you'll be straight for the rest of this year. Check out the shoes and the boots and get back to me. Let me know if there's anything that fits your fancy, because I think there's a pair of some Bates stuff that I'm going to buy. And also there's some ultra dry mid waterproof hiking boots that look pretty good with some blue jeans, if you know what I'm saying. I don't want to have no white feet again. I mean, it's just a nasty feeling when you hit that cold water and your sock is all soggy and stuff. Yeah. Sportsman's Guide, y'all. That's our sponsor for this month. And it's probably the last. Will we have another episode before November? I think so. But check out that link at Sportsman's Guide. It'll be in the show notes for this. Hey, this definitely goes in the Did You Know category. How many of you have heard of Upper Marlboro, Maryland? Well, this is kind of a local podcast, but I will jump around from time to time. If you listen to the last couple of shows, you know that the lynching stories that I talked about were actually in Upper Marlboro. Officially, the town of Upper Marlboro is the seat of Prince George's County, Maryland, in the United States, and the population within the town limits was 631 at the 2010 U.S. Census, although Greater Upper Marlboro has a whole bunch more people and is larger. This town was established in 1706 as Marlborough Town after John Churchill, the first Duke of Marlborough. He's an ancestor of the great Sir Winston Churchill. In 1744, the town was renamed to Upper Marlboro. And in the late 19th century, the town's name changed from Upper Marlboro, spelled Marlborough, to the way it's spelled today, Marlboro. Doggone it, Marlboro. And the name change is linked to a postal clerk who felt that the last three letters, UGG, did not properly fit the rubber stamps that they used at the time. So by 1893, postal guys were referring to the town of Upper Marlboro, and the name stuck, despite a proposed ballot to have it changed back in 1968. Did you know that? Well, heck, that's why we're here. You know, this place was settled around 1695. This land, which was part of several estates known as Grove Landing, Meadows, and Darnell's Chance. It was owned by the Brooke, Beale, and Darnell families, respectively. Darnell's Chance, also known as the Buck House, was built around 1694 and 1712. The house can still be found across the street from the present-day County Administrative Building on Governor Odin Bowie Drive, and it was owned by Darnell and Carroll families. In the home may have been the birthplace of Daniel Carroll, the signer of the U.S. Constitution, and his brother, John Carroll, the first Archbishop of Baltimore, as well as the first Roman Catholic prelate in what would become the United States. Did you know that? Back in the 1700s, this place was a big river place. I mean, it was a port town, and the river was navigable, and the town served as a port town for tobacco ships. The town blossomed into an agricultural, social, and political hotspot. Farms, many of which raised tobacco, dominated the surrounding areas. In 1721, a courthouse was constructed in the town, and the county seat was then moved from Charlestown on the banks of the Patuxent to Upper Marlboro, and the courthouse was built with money from a 12-pound tobacco tax imposed on county inhabitants. So one of the first laws passed at the courthouse was the Public School Act, which established a public school system. Did you know that? During the late 18th and 19th centuries, many prominent merchants, lawyers, and politicians lived and worked in the area. Horse racing, gambling came to town around the mid-18th century and attracted many people from the surrounding areas. The Maryland Jockey Club sponsored spring and summer races at the racetrack south of town, and racing continued there until 1972 when they were moved to the Bowie racetrack. The racetrack is now part of what we call the Equestrian Center and is owned by Prince George's County Parks and Planning now. Well, since the initial conception of the town has changed quite a bit, it initially boomed as a port town for tobacco trade, but the clearing and the cultivation of land for farming would lead to erosion in the area. Over the years, this erosion caused sedimentation, leading to the western branch to become unnavigable, and the fields of tobacco that once dominated the area have been converted over to residential developments, with the number of farms dwindling every year. Right now, e-cigarettes and vaping is the bane of existence for some people, but tobacco has always been a controversial subject. You know, when colonists established their first settlement at St. Mary's City in 1634, Lord Baltimore urged the new colonists to develop a diversified economy of farming, lumbering, fishing, mining, etc. And despite this desire and his repeating efforts, Lord Calvert was completely disappointed in his goal. The lure of fine profits to be had from growing tobacco proved too much, and Marylanders rapidly adopted this crop as the mainstay of their economy. And that decision, in turn, shaped colonial life and the society which developed along the shores of the Chesapeake Bay. The story of tobacco, or sot weed as it was called, became an integral part of the history of Maryland. Native Americans supposedly were the first to smoke tobacco, and the Spanish and Portuguese introduced this New World plant to Europe and Africa in the mid-1500s. As the craze to smoke the new weed swept England, prices of extraordinarily high tobacco started, since the Spanish were the only suppliers. And this situation began to change in 1612 when a Virginia settler, John Rolfe, planted tobacco seeds at Jamestown that were smuggled from Venezuela. Rolfe's experiment proved that the Chesapeake's soil and climate were ideal for this crop, and production of tobacco exploded in Virginia, expanding from 23 pounds in 1615 to 500,000 pounds in the 1620s. Maryland settlers quickly joined in this boom, growing Orinoco tobacco, and by the early 1670s, over 10 million pounds were being exported from the Chesapeake. It became the main product of the region and caused mariners to give the Chesapeake another name, the Tobacco Coast. Ain't that something? Yeah, I never knew that. So important was tobacco in the Chesapeake colonies that it became the money. Items were bought, debt settled, innkeepers paid, and tavern drinks purchased in pounds of tobacco. Maryland designated this crop as the official medium of exchange in 1637. Yeah. In part, this was due to a severe shortage of coinage in England and her American settlements. However, other colonies never resorted to making a crop their official currency, such as sugar in Jamaica or wheat in Pennsylvania. Now, this is a powerful indication of the central place tobacco held in early Maryland. Demand for tobacco rose quickly as new people tried it and enjoyed the effects of smoking sot weed. In addition to the significant pleasure derived from it, people during the 16th and 17th centuries also believed that the smoke offered some kind of health benefits, especially for ailments of the lungs, which is totally in reverse to how we talk now. English and Dutch merchants began this international trade in Chesapeake tobacco to meet this growing demand exported to it in Europe, Africa, and Asia. And as a result, Maryland was connected through tobacco to the emerging global economy. Artifacts found on sites attest to this international trade. You got ceramics from England, the Netherlands, and Rhineland, France. Portugal, Italy, and even Turkey appear on colonial sites. The most distant and exotic of these artifacts are rare Chinese porcelain vessels, and the desire for tobacco and the excellent waterways of the Chesapeake directly linked Maryland colonists to the wharves of London or Amsterdam, from there to the wider world. Ain't that something? Tobacco, used as money. People just losing their mind over this thing. Now, not so much. But it was here in Maryland and Virginia, all around the Chesapeake, the Tobacco Coast. And now something else that happened up in Marlboro to continue with our spooky stories for this month. This is from an article written in November 13, 1834. The National Intelligencer. This is a true story written in a paper. It says, on Thursday evening, the 6th, while Doctor Bayne and lady of Prince George's County, Maryland, were absent from home, their two sons, aged 7 and 5, were suddenly seized with violent vomiting and excessive thirst. Suspicion was immediately entertained by the returning parents that they were poisoned, which was strengthened by the successive deaths of both of these innocent children. One of them was dissected, and the stomach, with its contents sent to Dr. Thomas P. Jones of Washington, who, after applying the usual tests, pronounced it to contain 2.5 grams of arsenic. Circumstances had it, in the meantime, transpired, which fixed an horrid guilt upon a female black servant only 11 years old. She was interrogated and confessed the deed very readily. She said that she had taken the arsenic from her master's shop and strewn it over the supper of the children, which consisted of rice and milk. She also confessed that she was the person who, last year, made the attempt to burn the dwelling house down, which was only frustrated by a timely discovery. But oh, horrible to relate, she further confessed that 2 years ago, also, she had poisoned an infant of 7 months old, the daughter of this much to be pitied couple, which then died very suddenly, without any suspicion of poison. What renders these acts more atrocious is that she is one of the excellent family of servants and has a kind and indulgent master and mistress to serve. Now I ask you, what female black servant of 11 years old, what do you think happened to that little girl that made her want to kill everybody in the household, burn the house down? Was she just a sociopath? Or was she an abused child who was getting some revenge as only she could? Also, a slave, no doubt. Or indentured servant. An excellent family of servants, it says. And the family that should be pitied, with an indulgent master and mistress to serve. Have you ever heard that story before? What do you think happened? Why did this little girl try to burn everybody down and poison the kids in Upper Marlboro in 1834? All right, that's enough of that. Hopefully I can keep improving with age. You know, a ham sandwich walks into a bar and orders a beer, and the bartender says, "Sorry, we don't serve food here." Oh, you don't like that one? How about this one? "I got gas today for $1.39. Unfortunately, it was at Taco Bell. All right, if you've been listening to the show and you like what I'm doing, please let me know. Kenn.Blanchard@gmail.com. That's KENN.Blanchard@gmail.com. And remember this, if you realize that your time is limited, don't waste it living someone else's life. Do you, boo? If you like the show, tell your mama. Shalom, baby.